So there's been a little consternation about answering some of the questions for 2.2. And yeah, looking at this and working with it, every software package has limitations. One of my biggest complaints with Excel for a long time has been its inability to nicely put together frequency distribution and histogram. And there are hacks in Excel. Um, and StatCrunch fairly easily can build a histogram for us. And so what I'm going to do is rather than starting with number one here on 2.2, and I mentioned this in class as well, but we'll look at it here. If I go graph and do a histogram here, then and I'll look at the data from table 229, and we want 7 classes. But it doesn't give me an option for how many classes are here. So when I use that data and I hit compute, we see that it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classes. Now, from this, I could have, I could, go back and edit this in options here and say we want to start it somewhere else and then adjust it from there. But remember the trick that we used for working with what our class width was and what our starting point was we looked at summary stats. We found the range on that, so I'm just going to do that here. We have our range is 44,231, and since I want 7 classes, I'm going to do 44,231 divided by 7, and that says my class width needs to be about 6,500, 6,300. I'm going to round that up to 6,500. Our minimum starts at 22,500 or so. So that's what I'm going to do, is go into this here and start it at 22,500 and then increase by 6,500. I think that's right. And then when I compute that, now we see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 classes there. At this point, looking at the frequency versus the relative frequency and then the cumulative frequency as we go along, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a table is what I'm going to do in StatCrunch here. You could create the table in just a Word document. There's a variety of different ways you could do that. And then I'm just going to summarize that information here. And actually, for ease of typing it in with these solutions here, I'm just going to do that over here. I'm going to insert a table. And let's see here. And so make sure I've got the context right here. We're looking at median incomes of males in the U.S. And so I'm going to say median income and then the frequency. And we're going to need relative frequency as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert a column to the right. And we'll need one for cumulative relative frequency. But I want to do that separately, or cumulative frequency. And I want to do that separately. So, and I'll explain why here in a second. So, when we set up these class limits, then what we've got is this first class here really goes from 22,500 up to 29,000, but we're not including 29,000. So we do what we do is remember 22,500 up to 28,999. The frequency that we're getting in this table here, it says, is just 1. So we've got one person in that lower income group there. The relative frequency is going to be 1 out of the 52 there. So equals, in my formula here, 1 out of 52 is 0.019. So, and I'm using 3 decimal places here, and I'll explain why here in a second. The next group, we have 29,000 up through, and then this one ends at 35,499. Frequency there is 0, relative frequency 0. Then 35,500. I'm going to put a dollar sign just to make sure we have our units listed here. 35,500 up through 41,999. And in that class, we have quite a few more. So we have 13 there. So 13, and then here we have 13 out of 52, which is 0.25. Continuing on, 42,000 up through 48,499. We have now a lot going on there. We have 20, and then our relative frequency would be 20 out of 52, 4.385. 0.385. And this is why I went to 3 decimal places, really, because at this point, my 3 significant digits that I've got are this 385, and that's 3 decimal places there. So that's the reason I did 3 decimal places up here. You know, I could have on this one 0.000, but it really was 0 in this case, truly 0, not just rounded to 0. And we can continue on with this table. I'm not going to put all of that in the video, but when we look at the cumulative relative frequency, so I'm going to insert a table again. This one I just need 2 columns, and we'll have more rows than what I'm adding right now. So if we look at the median income, remember for the cumulative relative frequency, or cumulative frequency, we can do it as cumulative frequency or cumulative relative frequency. So in this case here, we want the cumulative frequency distribution for this one. So we'll just do cumulative frequency. And what we do is we say how many are less than the beginning of that first class. And there are 0 in that class. 0 that are less than 22,500. How many are less than 29,000? We're going to say that in that group there is now 1. How many are less than 35,500? Still just 1. How many are less than 42,000? Still, well, now it's going to be 14. So we're adding in however many were in each group. So here we had less than 42,000 is everybody that came before that. So then less than 49,000 or 48,500 is going to be 34. And so we can continue on with this. I'm not going to bore you with that here in the video.